Welcome to Dental Success Beyond Chairside, the podcast that's dedicated to revolutionising the way dental professionals succeed beyond the dental chair. Join us for a unique blend of insightful interviews with industry experts to help you thrive in your dental specialist practice. In each 20-minute episode, we'll delve into a variety of subjects, including HR, marketing, innovative techniques and systems, and AI to help transform your practice and unlock its full potential. Whether you're a dentist or specialist looking to enhance your practice, this podcast is your go-to resource for professional, personal, and profitable success. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Are you a dental practice owner looking to hire new staff and unsure how they'll fit in with your existing team? Knowing where to go and find your next team member or check workplace opportunities is now easy. Today, I'm joined by Lyn Carman, founder of Lync Dental, who I met through Julie Parker. We regularly meet up to confer and collaborate. The essence of Lync Dental is to build the gap between dental practices and the dental workforce, seeking a harmonious alignment of values, philosophy, and culture. Lyn, can you tell us a bit about yourself, Lync Dental, and why you believe intertwining oral health with overall well-being fosters an environment for success?
Wow, thank you so much, Michelle, for that awesome introduction. That is absolutely a passion of mine. Absolutely all of that. My background is as a dental professional. I started out way back in the day as a dental nurse and have pretty much done everything except dentistry itself. I don't have a degree in dentistry. I'm a dental hygienist. I've been a practice owner. I'm super passionate about patient care. Behind that is my drive for patient care. For me, happens when a practice is functioning at its best, when the team are aligned, when the team's happy, when the clinicians are loving what they're doing and passionate. I think the patient wins. That's what drives everything for me.
Absolutely. And that's for me as well. You've been working in the industry, had your own practice, and now you've gone into Lync Dental because of this passion. How did that actually develop into, you having your own business, which I think opened in January this year?
That's right. So the Lync Dental actually launched, the website with the jobs board launched in January. I've had my own business for 15 years. I have Lync Consulting, which was before Lync Dental. I suppose what drew me to be in this space and do what I'm doing now was really the discontent of both sides, from dental practices and of the workforce. And also having owned my own practice twice, and having built an amazing team that I just couldn't believe their joy coming to work. I couldn't believe the energy they brought, the motivation, and how we all lifted each other up. I started to unpack the ingredients of what was that. I think a lot of it was the fact that I spent a career as an employee. I had seen and felt what it was like to work in some amazing practices, luckily, but also some not so great practices. The ingredients were relatively easy for me to bring together for what I thought was a successful recipe for my practice. I also had some amazing mentors who really guided me to understand what it was that, or understand my vision. Once I understood my vision, I was able to actually share that with my team, which I think is the key. I honestly believe that understanding what your practice stands for, what you see as a vision and a goal for the future, underpins everything. When you can share that with your team and they want to get on that bus and they want to be part of that, then you can recruit to that vision. I think everyone is much more successful in their roles. Can break that down a little bit if you like.
I think that that's why we align so well and we can collaborate well, because my advocacy of patient experience, teamwork, and clinical excellence, and it's all entwined with those values of the practice. So, understanding the values of what it's all about, that is the whole success. If everybody knows the vision, as you said, where they want to go, they can all come together really well. So with Lync Dental, you're able to match these jobs with the businesses, the dental practices. Is that right, Lynn?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. There's a few different levels. One is the jobs board, which is like any other jobs board, except for the fact that it's specifically dental. I don't go into any other area. I don't break into any other space. It is purely dental. Other than that, it is a jobs board, the same as a lot of other jobs board. So it is very niche. The other area that I'm really passionate about is where I actually get to know the practices. I understand and help support them to really know what it is that their employer brand is, which I think is really important because we hear a lot about employer brand now. I think it's a fairly new buzzword. What does that actually mean? We spend a lot of time working on our branding for our patients to attract our patients, and we spend time on marketing, on our logo, on what we provide, the services we provide, our technology, pretty up the practice. We call it state of the art. We do all of that to attract our patients. What do we actually do to attract our team members? For a lot of the time, I don't think a lot of practices have that front of mind. At the end of the day, it's our team that is going to support the patients, that is part of the attraction, the alignment of the team, the buzz, the feel, the vibe in the practice will attract your patients. Understanding the employer brand, I think, is absolutely vital.
I haven't actually heard it called that, Lynn, and I love that because I put together a fact sheet of what you're actually looking for within the practice. And obviously your employee handbook or your code of conduct talks about what the brand is of your practice so that you can see if the alignment is there as well. I think what you encapsulated really well is that when everybody is happy, they know where they stand, they feel very safe, everybody knows what each person is doing, and then they work together, you have that cohesive team, but it also exudes a positive environment for patients that are coming to the practice as well. Then you lessen the complaints, you have a happy environment, and you're actually attracting the patients that you want to have into your practice. And what's so great about yours is you said it's very niche, it's only dental, and that's all you're working with. You've had that expertise over all of that time to understand that and be able to match the people into those practices beyond the jobs board.
Absolutely. I think that is my magic power, is the experience that I've loved and I've been really lucky to have had over my career, which has spanned a very long time, 36 plus years and counting. Very privileged, many opportunities, very varied. As I said, I probably have done most things in a dental practice and outside a dental practice. Not just in a clinical environment, in lots of other areas as well. Teaching, volunteering, third world. I think bringing that all together, I've been really fortunate. And I understand and I get what it is to be in our really unique environment that is dental. I think we underestimate the uniqueness and the special qualities. And sometimes really these are the qualities that make it so challenging to work in and work with as a clinician, as a practice owner, and as part of the workforce. I think understanding what really makes us tick in each individual practice is super important. And I love helping people explore that and work out what it is that they want for themselves. Each individual wants for themselves as a job seeker, also as a business owner, more so as a business owner, because someone said to me once, your business looks like you. I didn't kind of understand what that meant, really. I didn't understand what it meant to have a business that looks like me, but I now do. And I see practices sometimes where the practice owner is quite manic, quite up and down. The practice is really up and down. I see a practice that's really chilled and just kind of cruising. The practice bottom line will just cruise. So I think it's very reflective of who we are as a person and really honouring who we are, which is another really important part, if I can just dive into that, because another thing that's really important to me, and I see a lot of, and more so since I've been in this space, is there's a lot of catchphrases when people are advertising and posting for team members. And that's things like, patient-oriented practice, development, growth opportunity, professional development opportunities, competitive remuneration, all of these things that are just kind of standard in job listings. Then potential applicants apply for the positions with those things in mind. So great, patient-oriented, competitive remuneration, supportive team members, supportive staff, and they get into the practice, they're successful in the job, and it doesn't exist. Maybe it does exist, but not in the way that the person thought it would. What does patient-oriented mean to me? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to someone else down the road? Really understanding what that magic ingredient is for your practice is vital, because that trust buster of when you say you're aligned to this, yes, this is wonderful, sounds fantastic, this is just what I've been looking for. 2 weeks in, it's like, this is nothing like what was promised. I don't believe people go out of their way to misrepresent their practice or misrepresent their skills. It's having that clarity around what does that actually mean for you, and then being able to articulate that, which helps to onboard someone that's aligned with that. Does that make sense?
And I think absolutely 100%. And I see that all the time because all the ads are exactly the same. When they're doing their job ads, quite often they'll just look at another job ad and say, oh, well, they've got this, they've got that. That's how I'm going to do it. At the end of the day, they've graduated as a dentist or a dental specialist, and that's what they're great at, Lyn. They don't know how to run a business. They just copy what others do, even when they go and work for someone. So they'll graduate, they'll go and buy their car, then they'll go and work for someone, then they'll go, oh, I'm going to buy my own practice now, not even realizing the dynamics of a business. Human resources is your biggest cost in any practice. They're also your biggest asset, and they can be your biggest pain if you haven't got all of those foundations set up. Those foundations of values that you're talking about are so important. That's why I'm wanting to get professionals like yourself, especially for the dental industry, so the owners can understand that they need to set up these values. They need to articulate what their practice is about and do that employee brand so they know the people that are coming in, because what you say you do and what you do, as you said, are two different things. So you want to be attracting and retaining those people, just like your patients. You want to attract and retain and get the referrals from those people, and it's the same with your employees.
Yeah, absolutely. Nail on the head. Totally, 100%. I think there would be everyone in agreement with that, which is kind of where the disconnect is, because when we speak to people like doing the roles that you and I do, people agree and say, yeah, that's super important. Yes. So there is a disconnect with, as I said, no one's deliberately going out misrepresenting their values or what's important to them. So really, people talk about authenticity of a person. It's authenticity of the practice. And then obviously for the potential employee, it's their authenticity as well. And when those two things come together and people can really articulate what lights them up, and I don't know other way to say that, what lights them up, that's when the magic happens. It is really interesting though, because that's actually not as easily done as it is to say, because when you say to people, so what do you value? It's actually really challenging to answer that. And I work with a lot of people saying, okay, tell me about a day when everything was aligned. You just had the best day. You got home that night and was like, oh my gosh, that was the best. I was buzzing. What were the ingredients of that day that made it so good? And then starting to uncover that and say, okay, what were the bits in it that were aligned to what is really important to me, aligned to my value. Maybe I love adventure, and maybe that day was full of variety. Maybe I love peace and quiet, and maybe the day just working out what's really important to you and where your energy is at its best is really important to then be able to seek that quality out. I could talk about this for forever and a day.
Lyn, what you alluded to earlier was in today's environment, it doesn't necessarily happen like that. I think because there is a little bit of a shortage and people are feeling that they just have to hire someone that is perhaps experienced. They'll take the first person they can because they think that someone else is going to get them. And that is causing this disconnect as well, because sometimes these people are just in it for extra money and they're just going, yes, we'll pay you. And then they're having to performance manage them out, or those people are contributing to that culture going down the toilet, more or less.
I 100% agree. It's really not easy out there at the moment. The challenges are huge. I totally get that when you need someone, you need someone. And we can't function without our DAs. When we've got a backlog of patients for, preventative care, OHT department, hygiene department, when we've got no one answering the phone, we actually have to fill that role. It's idealistic to think that we can just wait for that ideal person to come along. But we need to start. We need to start working because we're losing really good team members, as you say, because those, I'm not going to say rotten apples, but the apples that don't fit in the bucket or aren't on that bus can impact everything.
Is there anything further that you'd like to add, Lyn, that we haven't discussed with regard to yourself?
Honestly believe in every core of my body, we have to do it differently. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. Recruitment needs to be looked at differently, felt differently. And I really believe that people at the moment understand that and get that, but they just don't know where to go. Do I go to this great big generic jobs board and get the reach? Do I go to someone specific? Do I go to a recruitment agent, traditional recruitment agent, any kind of profession? I don't know. I think that the secret sauce is with dental professionals who know our uniqueness, who know our speciality, who know our foibles, and who really understand the business and want to support. And there's so many like yourself. Obviously, I think like Lync Dental, I would love Lync to be the place where people go to first. And we can support each other.
And that's absolutely right. But people like you and I who have had experience over a multitude of decades and can help them, knowing that there's a village of people in Australia and probably worldwide, but in Australia at reach that have just got that expertise with you and I and a multitude, as you said, of people. We know what works and what doesn't. And setting up those foundations for success is going to help you in the long run because, as we said, the personnel is your biggest cost, your biggest pain, and also your biggest asset. So you really want to attract and retain those right people in your business because you are going to thrive in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. If I stop me from talking because I could go on, as we said, I think the other part of that is we do have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. What works in each individual practice is always going to be so different for each individual practice. I always learn as well so much from the practice. But there are some strategies and some structures that even though they're standard, will fit for each unique practice. I think you would find that as well. We can adapt to each practice what's needed in that individual practice. It's not a one size fits all. So I'm just grateful to be able to share that. I think when we share, I certainly can't do it on my own and I don't want to do it on my own. Yet a lot of practices are doing it on their own. I'm sure the other thing that came to mind when you were saying that was I don't want to work with every practice either. Every practice won't want to work with me. Finding that person for each practice is super important as well. So finding their right employee, with their right team member, but also finding the right support for them as well, because obviously there's going to be some people that I can't work with or who don't want to work with me, who don't like my style. I think finding that person for support is super important. and having the conversations and saying, you know, are you a good fit for me to work
Yes,
with to support my
absolutely.
practice?
Your passion is obvious, Lyn. Your journey led to the inception of Lync Dental, where you seamlessly merge your twin passions of understanding human behaviour and dentistry. Thank you so much for being on our podcast today. We appreciate your knowledge, expertise over many, many years. For more information about Lyn and Lync Dental, including links to her work and social media profiles, please check out the episode description. Thank you so much, Lyn.
Thank you, Michelle. And I love the work that you're doing and supporting practices. So thank you for having me on.
No, pleasure. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast or YouTube channel. Your feedback helps us bring you more valuable content and inspiring stories from leaders in the dental industry. In our next episode of Dental Success Beyond Chairside, we'll be joined by Jackie LaRue, an entrepreneur, business mentor, and people connector. Jackie is a firm believer in using personality testing such as the DISC method to foster better team dynamics and build stronger relationships within your practice. If you're looking to better understand your team and enhance collaboration, this episode is for you. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.